Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Elaine Hall-Corbin, your host, and good afternoon and welcome to Artists of Color. Now, earlier today, I put out a little bleep about this show today because I have two really special guests on my show today, and I am so excited. So I hope you all got my text messages, my emails, my Facebook, my Instagrams, because I wanted everybody to know you had to tune in, because I was not telling anybody who was on this show today. So first to say, my first guest is Araba Nyarko, better known as Thomika Bridwell. I'm going to say to Araba. Araba, thanks for coming to visit me today.
Thank you.
I mean, you and I, a week ago today, had this great conversation.
I know.
And we thought the conversation was going to last about half hour, maybe an hour. And it turned into a 2.5-hour conversation.
It did.
You know, and we just couldn't get away.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm honored. I remember you little, but then I remember you when I first saw you, because the first time I saw you, you did another production that you were in, but when I saw you, I want y'all to know, she was in For Colored Girls back in February, and she's the lady in green, but I call her the Muse. And she was amazing.
Thank you.
And I was like, okay, this is who I want to have on my show. I mean, I loved everybody else that was in the show, but I remember I kept saying, I know that young lady. And then I said, oh, yeah, I do. I know her. I was excited, and I am even more excited that you're on my show today.
Like I said, I'm so grateful to be here.
Oh,
and I definitely have to say hello to all of my
yes,
colored girls.
Yes, please do.
To all of my colored girls and to my amazing director, Diane C.B. Walters, and to just everybody, the cast and crew that just made this show what it was. It really just took on a life of its own.
It did.
And we didn't expect for
it to act that way.
Yeah.
I know when I was watching the show, it was like, okay, who do I kill first? I cried. I wanted to scream. It was like, so where is the man who threw the kids out the window? It was like, where is he? You know,
yeah.
it was so heart-wrenching because I had never seen the show. Mm-hmm. I had only seen the movie. But then to see the show in color, right there, in front of my face, it was like, wow.
You know, I think that was one of the reasons that doing this show at this time was so important, because there are a lot of people that have seen the movie, and a number of people didn't even know that it was a play.
Yeah.
You know, and an award-winning play, absolutely. And definitely an integral piece of the patchwork of Black art in this country, in the world, period.
Yes.
And so I'm grateful that I was able to portray them green. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have done this show at this time. Yes. And I'm so grateful that we were able to bring the show to audiences that, like I said, have never seen it, or didn't even know that it was an adaptation of the actual stage play.
Stage production.
Yes.
Exactly. Because I knew that from like when my daughter was young. Mm-hmm. So I remembered when it came out, and I said, I would love to see this, but I never got to see it. It had been here before. Yeah. But I'd never gotten to see it.
Yes.
But then I ended up, when I heard that they had made a movie, and it came out, and then it came on cable, and that's how I got to watch it.
Yes.
And it was unbelievable.
Yes, well, I mean, of course, the movie was done by Tyler Perry, so...
Yeah, so you knew it had nothing... it couldn't be anything else but amazing.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, and it got a lot of traction.
He really captured the play.
Yeah.
It was right there. You couldn't... Because as I watched it, that was in the movie. That was definitely in the movie.
Yes.
You know, it was like everything was right there.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there were some things that definitely had to be reworked, I think, for the screen.
Yes.
But it was you saw all of the poignant pieces.
Yes, you did.
Of the play. I think it was done really well.
It was done very well. It was done very well. I'm going to say, Araba.
Yes.
I want you to tell my audience a little bit about you. Because I know where you came from, but let's tell my audience where you came from.
Well, I'm from Boston. Was originally from New York, but raised here and educated in Boston. And I am an artist. I'm a performing artist. I am an actress. A lot of people don't know I'm also a singer. Well, some people know.
I'm some of those people.
Some people know that I'm also a singer, and I've been performing professionally now for about 6 years. But I've been in the arts all of my life. I'm a third generation.
Yep.
Both of my parents were on Broadway.
There you go.
And so I am a consummate Broadway baby. I was backstage as a child, just awaiting my mother,
Exactly.
awaiting my patiently to get off of the stage. And so I was in the dressing rooms playing in makeup from the time that I can remember, always performing, always singing and dancing and acting. My mom likes to joke that I sang before I could talk.
Mm-hmm.
And
I believe that one.
And I think I just started to discover my voice as an actor pretty early on too. First as a singer, and then as an actor pretty early on in about elementary school. Okay. Yeah, and I've loved it. It's definitely so much of who I am as a person. I cannot imagine my life without my art. So
No, I can't either.
aside from, this being my profession, this is something that I would do absolutely for free. And they say if you can get paid to do something you would do for free, then
then hey, why not get paid?
Exactly. Then why not get paid? But
paid?
it's a match made in heaven for me.
Yeah, it is. How did you progress as far as your talent, your musical career, your theatrical career? How did you progress?
Well, I definitely spent a lot of time studying first. I think that that's something that you cannot take for granted. Even if you're blessed with a specific talent, you have to own that talent. You have to really put in the work and put in the hours to perfect it. Well, not to perfect it, but to get as good as you can possibly get,
Yeah, because they say perfection, but you want to get it as close to perfection as you possibly get. Especially for you, because you're the one that's put out there.
Yeah, I mean, perfection, I really don't want to use that word because I feel like as an artist, you're constantly evolving, you're growing, and you're really in competition with yourself. You think that you've reached a specific pinnacle. There's always something more. There's something more to learn. There's another skill. There's other things to add to your repertoire. So definitely it's an evolutionary process. So I've began my evolutionary process studying. My mother went any other way. I went to Hampton University, and so I was a theater arts minor at Hampton University and a political science major. And then after that, I spent time studying here in Boston. I studied primarily with Valerie Stevens. And then I went off to Los Angeles and did some plays, Into the Woods, which is a Sondheim play in Los Angeles, and then a play which was an adaptation of another Broadway show, The Drowsy Chaperone. I did that in Los Angeles, and in another play, The Cotton Club, number of plays in Los Angeles, and then I decided to move back east. And so for a year, maybe a little bit over a year, with Mariska Phillips in New York, and really focused a lot on developing my actor. And then after that, I started auditioning and landed my first role in New York in a play called While You Were Preaching. Actually, it was in New Jersey. And from there, that play has now been picked up by actually another company, Halo Productions, which is now brought it into the theater in New York, and is also going to be touring soon. So I'm going to be a part of that tour.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes.
So how am I supposed to keep up with you?
Listen, social media.
I know.
And New York is just a hop, skip, and jump away.
That's true. You're right. You're absolutely right. When you said, you talked about studying with Mariska Phillips.
Yes.
There was something you said to me when we had our conversation, and you said when you started studying with her, and there was something that she said to you. Do you remember what that was?
She said to me that what I had, she couldn't teach.
There you go.
She couldn't teach.
I wanted you to say that. not me.
And that meant the world to me. Because
See?
a lot of times what people don't know is artists are, because what we do is so personal.
Exactly.
A lot of times there a tendency to be a lot of insecurities. We can be actually shy people. People think that you're an extrovert if you're an artist. And it's not necessarily
I
true.
That to be very true. Because I have other friends, because I get around. And I have other friends that are artists, musicians, poets, and I've learned that they really are introverts. They're not really extroverts like you think they are because of fashion.
Yeah.
But they really are not.
I think because, as artists, you feel very deeply, and you have to be able to feel very deeply in order to internalize whatever the body of work is and to be able to communicate it musically or, through acting or writing or whatever your medium is, to internalize it and communicate it in a way that is relatable to other people. And the only way that you can do that from an honest place is to give yourself over to it.
Okay.
And
I was going to ask.
Yeah, to give yourself over to it. So I think that for us, a lot of times, because the work is so personal, there's often times of, fear around how people are going to receive the work and how they're going to receive you. Because it's a big part of it. But then also as an artist too, because you're feeling deeply, but also you're taking in the world around you. You spend a lot of time really observing. Really observing and being to yourself in some ways. Even though, a lot of people are around. I know for myself, when I'm doing characters as an actor or, as a singer, I'm watching people and asking myself questions about their experience.
What you see them experiencing.
Exactly.
When you're performing,
Exactly.
they see.
Exactly.
I understand.
And also, how can I incorporate, because, the human experience is universal. So it's like, how can I incorporate parts of what I see? Because not everything that not every piece of material that I get as an actor is something that I have been through, or even as a singer. Not every song can I interpret from personal experience, but if I'm able to observe the world around, observe people, and kind of look at the world through their eyes, or at least ask the questions of, what do I think that they're feeling, what do I think that they're experiencing, then it gives me, I think, more of an authentic in terms of being able to truthfully portray a character or truthfully sing a song.
Okay. All right. See? There you go. I'm going to ask, since we were just about getting into character, when you played in Color Girls, when you played the Lady in Green, what did you have to do in order to get that part down packed the way you did it? Because see, I know what I saw. Okay, I know what I saw when I saw the play and when I saw you. I have to admit, at some points during the play, I was wrapped up in your performance. And I really was. See, I didn't tell you that before we had our meeting.
Thank you.
But when I noticed all the other women, and they were amazing. And
amazing actresses.
I could get into, but when you did your part, totally, like, okay, I was mesmerized. And I really want to know, what did you do in order to be so profound, real, so right there? There you are.
Oh.
There you are.
I think that it was the right part for me at the time. I spoke, just a moment ago about being able to interpret other people's experiences, but there were definitely parts of the Lady in Green, I would say of the monologue for the Lady in Green, that was very personal to me and very personal to my own experiences. And so I think that is what you saw. That's what people felt when they received that monologue. Because it was definitely from a very, very truthful place, a place that I spent a lot of time healing from. Okay. Yeah. And so it was definitely just they say that imitates life. And it, for me, was definitely an example of art imitating life.
Yes.
When the lady in green talks about somebody almost walking away with all of her stuff.
Yep.
All of her stuff. I think it's experience that so many people, I would say women, definitely women, but even men, can relate to giving so much of yourself away that there is none of you left for you. And that is something that I experienced. I'm a mother.
Yep.
And
a mother.
I am a mother to a beautiful, beautiful little girl. But in becoming a mother, and just in being a woman and becoming a woman in general, that there were definite times in my life where I gave too much. And so I had to ask myself some very serious questions in terms of my own identity, in terms of what it is that I want to do, and also in terms of preserving myself. That's the first law of nature, of self-preservation.
Self-preservation.
And in understanding that you are the most important person to you.
That's true.
Because you cannot give from an empty cup. You can't give what you don't have to give. And I think as women, in times, we are expected to give and give and give.
Continue to give.
Yeah, to no end. And I would say for myself, in becoming a woman, and I'm still growing, but in growing my womanhood, I found that expectation was definitely daunting, is to say the least. It was so much. And I think that it's difficult because it's a societal expectation. And it's not really talked about. It's just what we do. And
that's true.
It's what we do as women. It's what we do definitely as Black women.
There you go.
Black women. As Black women, and people just sort of take for granted that take for granted that you have to save some for yourself. You got to put a little bit away.
Because I remember in our conversation, you were talking to me and how you had gotten to a place where you realized that your acting and your performing was so much a part of you, but during a particular portion in your life and coming back, you felt like you had lost that, and you didn't realize that you had lost that until you realized part of you was missing.
Yeah, I think definitely in becoming a mom and, like I said, just becoming a woman in general, there was so much that I gave over to that portion of my life, and being in relationship and all those things. I gave so much over to that part of my life and did not know how to mix the two. How to mix the two, the new expectation of, now caring for another person and being in relationship and these different things with who Thomika is or who Araba is at my core. And so I sort of out of myself on the back burner. And I tell you, was not, it wound up being a recipe for disaster, because it's when you are an artist, when you are a creative, there's so much of who you are as an artist that is attached to your actual personage. And so for me to not have that, express that, to have sort of tabled that for a little while, it wound up taking away a lot more than what I expected.
What you expected it to take.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here you are.
But here I am.
Back and raring to go.
Yes.
And definitely going.
Yes, and going and moving.
Moving.
Yes.
What are you doing now?
So many things. So I just finished a tour of a show called Heritage. And it's a show that's actually picked up continuously. Yes. It's a beautiful, beautiful show written by a young sister, Nicole Nero Gaines, out of New York. And that's a show that's based on Black woman, but it's told through the way that we are identified by our various hairstyles.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful play, and I just wrapped that. I was blessed to have done that for 2 weeks in New York, and there are some more dates that are coming down the pipeline with that. As I said before, I'm also doing While You Were Preaching, which is also coming up in the summertime. We're gearing up for a tour. And then also in Boston, sooner rather than later, everybody will see me as a singer.
Yes, they will.
Will see me as a singer. I'm so blessed to be singing in Music Under the Stars this year.
I can't wait for that
This year. So there are 2 dates for that.
Okay.
The date that I'll be performing is July 15th, and Music Under the Stars, as you know, is a collaborative effort between the Boston Juneteenth Committee and the National Center of Afro-American Artists.
Yes.
And so,
where is it going to be done?
It's actually going to be at the museum.
Oh, it is going to be. Okay.
It's going to be on the rolling hills of the museum, outside underneath the stars.
We got that.
Yes, underneath the stars.
I will be there, front row center.
Yes, I'm very, very excited about it.
Yes.
It's actually a celebration of Mardi Gras. This date, the June 15th date, is a celebration of Mardi Gras. So there's going to be a big band, and it's going to be very, very exciting. It's produced by my beloved sister, and she's a mentor of mine who also is a colored girl, Miss Verna Hampton. Miss Verna Hampton is producing and directing, and it's co-directed by Brandon Guillermo. And it's just going to be a wonderful, wonderful celebration of African American artistry. There's going to be gospel singers and just every type of artistry that you can imagine, but it will specifically be a Mardi Gras theme because it's also.
I didn't realize that's how it was.
Yes, it's the closing.
I can't wait.
It's actually the closing of the exhibit that's happening
the
right
Mardi
now.
Gras.
Yes, the Mardi Gras exhibit
that's
happening
right now. I was there
right
for
now.
that open. Yes. All right. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm blessed to be a part of that, and I'm very, very excited about it.
I know you are.
Yeah, because it's the first time that I get to present myself
as a vocalist.
Strictly as a vocalist.
To hear this.
Yes, I've sang. There are some plays that I've done here in Boston that I've actually sang in, but this is, and I sang a little bit for Colored Girls at the very end.
Yes.
Yeah, at the very
end. Yes, the very end.
But this is time that
You're going to be just you.
It's just me and a microphone.
There you go, girl. There you go.
And some musicians, some wonderfully gifted musicians behind me. Yes.
I am very happy.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm excited too.
I cannot wait. Yeah. You are my beautiful one, and I am excited for you.
Thank you.
And our conversation, I still can't get over our conversation. But we will have more because we are going to have a break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we're going to have someone new with us. So stay tuned for Artists of Color. And you've been listening to my lovely guest, Araba Nyarko.
Yes.
And she'll be back.
Thank you.
Thank you. I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
See, I didn't realize this was going to be on the 15th. Okay, I don't know what you're doing. I said it was going to be on the 15th because I knew we have.
Today's spotlight is on Artists of Color.
I'm Elaine Hall-Corbin, your host and producer of Artists of Color, an art and cultural program that features artists. Please join us for Artists of Color. to Artists of Color. My guest this afternoon is Araba Nyarko,
Yes,
better
Araba.
known as Thomika Bridwell. I know her by every name. We have been sitting having a great conversation, you know? But I want to talk to you more about Music Under the Stars.
Okay.
Who are some of the, or do you know who are some of the other guests that are going to be
I'm
performing?
not sure
Okay.
who else is going to be performing yet, but I do know that it's going to be a wonderful lineup. As I said, Verna Hampton is directing
Miss Verna.
and producing.
I must get in touch with Verna, because
Yes.
I had no idea that she was directing this.
Yes, she's directing and producing it.
See, I had no idea.
So, you know, she's Miss Verna don't
she's-
play.
Oh, honey, don't
Miss
I
Verna
know.
don't play, so she's definitely going to have a wonderful, wonderful lineup of people and very
Yes.
talented artists.
Oh,
So we're excited.
We're excited.
And it's July 15th and also on the 24th. There are 2 dates.
Oh,
Yes, July 15th and July 24th.
okay, and they're both going to be at the museum.
Both at the museum. But the first date is the only one that is a celebration of Mardi Gras.
Okay. I'm very glad that this combination with this particular piece, that, you know, part that's going to be happening, this celebration is hooked up with Juneteenth. I think that's perfect. And I'm glad it's for the date, because there are a number of things that are going to be going on. Like, there's something going on at the Museum of Fine Arts the next day, on the 20th, which I didn't know about. But I like my Juneteenth right here in my community. So for you to be there on the 15th is great. We are going to have another break, and when we come back, we will have my second special guest. So wait, and we'll be right back.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Your son wants to get a cat,
I'll really take care of it.
but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
Sea squirrels.
25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster love you just the same.
Good afternoon. I'm Elaine Hall-Corbin, your host, and welcome back to Artists of Color. And as I stated, I had two special guests. Well, right now, special guest number 2 has arrived, and I'm here to tell you. Good afternoon, Miss Catherine Morris.
Hello, Mama.
How you doing, girl?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Awesome.
You've been working yourself crazy.
I've been busy for 3 years and
You ain't, and
15 days.
Count down, girl.
Yes.
Count down. Because I've been telling people, I've been passing the word.
Thank you.
And I've been saying it's coming.
Uh-huh.
I will be there, front row center.
Okay.
I might even be up on the stage with
What? Let me find out. You wrote yourself into the program.
Catherine Morris,
Yes.
I call her Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine Morris is the founder and CEO of Boston Art Soul Music Festival, which is coming to Boston on the 23rd of this month.
Yes.
And I want you all to know, come on out. It's going to be Franklin in the hood, and we are taking over. We are taking over Franklin Park that day.
I love you. In the
And I
hood.
love you
Tell 'em.
too. From
Tell
12
'em.
o'clock to 8 o'clock, so come on out.
Yeah.
I keep telling people, because people are trying to grab me and tell me I have to go other places. I can't do that. I'm here.
We've been talking about this for like 2-3 years now.
Yes, you know,
so-
and because I remember when you did Prelude
Yes.
at the bowling building.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, I'm saying, and everybody kept telling me, that's Kat Morrison. Who is that lady? She's bigger than me. Why? But we had it. But now we've become to be really good friends.
Oh, absolutely.
I love her immensely.
Thank you. I love you too.
If you haven't met, you see how I get right into Kat? I'm really bad with her.
All right,
This
we'll
is-
stay on- we'll
this
stay on
is what
topic.
I do. Let's do this right. Catherine,
Yes.
better known as Kat. This is Araba Nyarko, better known as Thomika Bridwell.
Pleasure to meet
Beautiful.
you.
She
Lovely to
is
meet you.
Likewise.
a performing stage artist and vocalist.
Love it.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay?
Yes. Yes.
See, and I've got my two favorite ladies right here. I mean,
I made it to the favorite list.
Exactly.
You've been
both
the
of us.
favorite lady.
Ooh.
Both of us. I
You
didn't
know
I was
that.
What did I
favorite
get for
either.
Christmas?
I don't know. You can't get anything. The giant, the little giant has to get
My
something.
little big giant. Yes.
You ain't kidding.
Uh-uh.
How is he?
He's good.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good. He's my little man child.
You ain't lying.
Mm-mm.
I see him.
Oh yeah.
Them little things up there on Facebook is like,
He's ready to go.
yes, he is. Because
He's
like
ready
I
to go.
told you, wait till he climbs over. He's coming over.
He's crawling.
He's coming over. Okay, he's coming out that crib.
Yes,
you
he
just
is.
wait a minute. He's coming over the crib. I'm telling you. I know.
He'll
Both
be-
mine did it.
He'll be at the festival.
Oh, good. I'm going to get to see him up close and personal.
Absolutely.
Now tell me,
Yes.
how's it been? How has it gotten you this far?
Well, it's here. That's
it
that's
is.
the main thing. It's
Thank you.
been 3 years in the making.
Making.
I've been talking for
Years.
years. And now I think people are persuaded that they're seeing the advertisements, they're
Yes.
seeing the interviews. I'm in the community, they see the team, that it's real now.
Yep.
And so you gotta show up.
They better.
Show up, have fun,
Yes.
be themselves,
Exactly.
stay,
Absolutely.
and groove to all the artists.
Thank you very much.
Because that's so important. Don't just come because it's
It's
lit.
writ.
But in order for our local artists to feel that they're appreciated, they gotta stay. The audience has to stay.
They do. They really do.
And clap. I mean, we could do a little church, a little church clap, like mm-hmm.
No, no.
But the reality that the presence of the community will dictate how this is gonna go. Yeah, the energy,
Oh, yeah.
the storytelling,
Absolutely.
the different generations that I
So-
expect to show up.
Thank you. You mentioned that one. We did the piece at Northeastern Crossing. We were
Yes.
talking about, back there, back in the 70s and art. And you were talking about passing that on
Absolutely.
to the generation, to you, your generation, younger generations that are going to come after you.
Absolutely.
And yeah, they got to show up.
They gotta show up, and my expectation is that people just start to talk to each other.
Yes.
Right? Like the music and the art
We'll get them going.
will get them going, but it's up to the individual to make the choice to break, if you will,
Yeah,
and have a
absolutely.
conversation.
It's funny because on your flyer,
Yeah.
it says, yes, there's going to be food.
That's always a given.
And you know when you say yes, there's going to be.
Yes.
They'll be there.
They'll be there. And there's live art that's happening
art
on
that's
site.
yes.
And they're all local artists. They all have something to say. And
I
so,
love that.
the with the stages going, back and forth, and the art happening, and the food trucks, and the vendors that'll be there.
Yes.
It's just this really super dope atmosphere that we're trying to create with all generations, all
Absolutely.
types of music.
Intergenerational. Girl.
Absolutely, we have to
Because
do
if
that.
if you can't get it that way, how's it going to continue?
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the
it's
process itself has been challenging. It's been frustrating
That's
at
the
times.
least to say.
I'm being nice.
I know you are.
But it's been a wonderful learning process to meet different people, understand who has a seat at the table, who doesn't. People want to wait to see if it's going to be successful. That's my favorite. But I think what the moments of happiness for me is when you hear from the artists about how excited they are.
There you are. Thank you.
You know, and that there's finally something that they can believe in
Yeah.
and participate in, so that it represents them and not just something else.
That's true.
You know, and they're being paid. Like, that's also a thing for us to ensure that I'm not asking you to do something for free, but I'm paying you because I believe in what you do.
All right.
And that you can do it to a crowd of 5,000 people who are probably your neighbors or know of you. You know, everything.
Either your neighbor or your mama's neighbor or your sister's neighbor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the happiness that I've been finding, even in the moments of doubt and frustration, is when I get the artist stories. And we haven't done the festival yet, so I'm like, I can't wait till after.
I know you can't. I can't either.
Yeah.
I'm like all excited and ready to go, and I've been telling people, you know.
It's nice. People are
Boston
taking,
Music
you know,
Festival coming.
selfies with our little bus ads. They're like, oh, it's real. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Man, I didn't realize it was that serious. Yes,
Yes,
it
it's
is.
that serious.
It's that serious.
It's very that serious.
Yeah, yeah. But the process has been good. My family's been good. The artists, they're all crazy. I love them. Strangers I don't even know are just like, you need any help? I'm like, wow. Talk about true community building and support.
Okay, there you go, girl.
Because there's folks who know what this process is like.
Of course they do.
To see a woman of color do it.
Oh, see, and
Still
that's
with
like,
a smile.
That's my girl.
People are just like strangers, whatever you need. Like, wow, that's a blessing.
That's
I
a
take
blessing
it.
right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a blessing right there.
Absolutely. She's crazy.
Ooh.
I love her though.
On live TV, she just said that.
We can replay that over and over again. She's super duper excited. She knows I've been wanting this for years.
Yes.
And she just recently played a couple of records by the Flamingos just to remind me of my history and my foundation of why I'm doing what I do. Then she put on the Ozzy Brothers. I'm like, okay. So
now this
is motivation.
There
as
you
to
go.
why
You
I did
can't be no
this.
more motivated than that, girl. You just can't.
But she's gonna be there. I'm hoping to bring her
All right.
on stage and it's just
Please do.
just confess my my appreciation for me and just being there.
Absolutely.
Nothing like a mother's love.
You got that one right. You got that one right.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. So, can you give us a little hint?
Of?
Who's going to be hanging? Just a little one.
Okay, so there's 21 acts.
Oh, never mind.
Because you know I couldn't go just two.
2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 now.
No, there's 2 stages.
Oh, there are 2 stages.
There are 2 stages. So people got to pick where they're going to go.
Oh.
Problem.
See?
Yeah, so we have off the top. She's been with me three and a half years. Is Valerie Stevens from Roxbury. She is my most loyal artist to stick with me and believe in my vision and my mission.
I know that.
So Valerie Stevens will be in the house
Up
with
front
her
and center, y'all.
up front and center with her Nina Simone meets hip hop, which is gonna be
is that what
amazing.
she's going
Oh
to
yeah,
do?
oh yeah.
Oh, cause see, I missed that, and now I get.
It was great.
Look at me like that.
Okay,
Yes, I
all right,
missed it.
all right.
I missed it.
So I got Valerie Stevens who's gonna just, you know, show
Tear down
these
the house.
show these young
Youngins how to
things
do
how
it.
it's done, as she says.
It's honey.
We have Umpo, who's from Roxbury. She's also an amazing national spoken word champion right here from the Haley House Slam team. But she's also a wonderful hip hop artist and an activist. And so her music is very powerful. It tells her truth, and that's what we want here at this festival.
Yep, truth.
We also have 2 wonderful spoken word artists from Boston, D. Ruff and Ja D, who, If You Can Feel It, You Can Speak It series.
Okay.
So they're gonna be on either stage. I can't tell which one.
Okay, don't tell. Don't tell. I'll find out when I get there.
We have Tamara Goldenella.
Don't know.
I feel like her vocals are compared to a Shaka Khan. She can.
Are you serious? Because there is no Shaka Khan.
I know,
Shaka
but
Khan.
she's close.
I'm going
But
to
I'm proud of her because she doesn't need
Then
much.
I got to hear her.
She doesn't need much.
Okay.
So we have her. We have Ballad from Brockton, who I would probably say is a modern day Michael Jackson in terms of vocal range. He can really kind of go up, so he's amazing. Wow. And then of course our headliner, Kindred the Family Soul from Philly. They're coming to be
They're coming.
Yeah, Yeah.
From Philly.
From Philly
to Boston.
to Boston.
Oh my
They're the headliner.
God, the
Yeah.
headliner, excuse
Uh.
me.
See?
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
But she, I mean,
My daughter's acting coach. I mean,
what was
come on, everybody get in
interesting is out of these 21 artists, 18 are local. So that's about
I love that. That's
the majority of the
you're
lineup.
local.
And I
There you
wanted
go,
to
girl.
ensure that because I don't want them to leave.
No, I know
And I
that.
need them to see that the audience and the community does support them.
Support them.
So majority of our artists are local based, and they represent everything from spoken word to hip hop to R&B to soul to funk. We have all kind
You
of.
have any jazz in there?
I'm trying, but I realize in the jazz community, there's a little bit of beef that I know nothing about.
Okay, never mind.
I'm just saying,
Oh,
y'all
God.
gotta figure it out.
Y'all
Y'all gotta figure it out.
No, I gotta now go ahead and figure this out. What's wrong with you people? Okay.
But it's
But I
free.
like that. I
Yeah.
love that lineup.
Thank
That is
you.
fantastic.
I appreciate you.
You know?
But you know, the event is free, 12 to 8.
There you
Bring a
go.
blanket.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
bring
we
a
can't.
grill.
We can't do no
don't
grills.
do it. Mm-mm.
Okay, I'm walking around and tell people I don't want to see no grills.
Blankets
I live up
and
the hill.
chairs.
I don't want to see no grills.
Blankets and chairs and a
There
good
you
time.
go.
That's
there
it.
You go.
That's it.
Bring a blanket, cause
You
I'll
can
be
do that.
Cause I'll be running around. You know that.
Now, here's one of the things we're trying to do. We're trying to get the biggest coordinated electric slide or Dougie. If I can get that happening just
What
before the
is
headliner.
that?
It's a dance.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
every generation's got a different dance.
Dance.
So if I can get the majority of the audience to coordinate in one direction to do the electric slide or the Dougie, I'll be fine. I've achieved something outside the festival.
Okay. Oh.
The electric
wow.
slide probably would be easier.
I know.
Yeah,
Everyone's body doesn't move like that. I got it. I got it.
That's probably easier.
Nope.
That's totally fine.
Not everybody's body moves like that from here to toe down.
So that's what I'm trying to do.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it's only going to get bigger over the next couple of years.
Oh, I know it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to find out it's going to be, the word is going to go out.
Trying to put Boston on the map. I need the city to win.
Thank you very much.
From an arts and culture
Cultural
standpoint,
yes, we do.
we got to win, and we got to do it our way. So that's
Yeah,
what I'm doing
and
it
it
my
has
way.
to be our way.
Uh-huh.
And look whose way we got it doing.
Trying to set the standard, you
My
know.
girl is ready. You know, okay? I mean, you know, look at, I've got wonders here. I've got beautiful, fantastic, spectacular, amazing
Wow.
black women.
That's
Yes.
a long
And
list
I
now.
can't,
Yes.
there's nothing else I can say.
Thank you.
That's
That's
beautiful.
it. You guys are out there. You sisters are doing it,
I appreciate
know,
that.
Thank you.
putting the art out there, bringing the art to the community,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
you know, telling our stories. 'Cause if we don't tell them, nobody else is going to tell them.
Well, people are telling them. They are telling them they're misrepresented.
That's
a lot
what
of
it-
too.
that's what it is.
And so we need to
There-
tell our
it's-
truth.
we
is what
need it.
to do.
That's what
I
it is.
agree. I agree.
Her and I were talking about truth before, and we need to tell our truth. Not everybody else telling our stories, because they don't never get it right.
True, and I
Yes.
think there are things you have to be unafraid to
To
tell you
say.
the
Yeah.
truth. And
That's
part
right.
of that is self-discovery.
Oh,
You know, in this whole process, I've about myself, and I'm like, okay, so I get it now. I didn't get it 3
Didn't
years
get
ago.
it before. Now you got it.
I am more prepared now than ever years
So
ago.
this is going to be the first one.
This will be the first one, and all the artists know they are the first
There you go.
That's dope.
Oh, there you
to
go.
set the standard for the next artist coming
behind them.
Absolutely. So they got work to do.
Oh yeah, they really do. That not only have they got work to do, they've got to. The work is to do their work and bring out the community.
Absolutely.
And the community's got to come out and do their work
Yeah.
to keep it here.
The city is definitely expecting now 5,000 people, and we're a little bit past that in tickets already. Free ticket.
Really?
But we're like 3,500 already.
Oh shoot.
And people are coming from Connecticut and New York and Rhode Island. So it's not just Boston they're showing out.
Okay.
I got something else to show everyone else. Like, okay, so, we can do this here in Boston.
Oh.
So all my Bostonians, please be on your best behavior.
Oh, I mean, how to work
Just
for
kidding,
you.
just kidding.
Thank you very much. Because you know, and I know.
I know. But yeah,
The first.
the first.
You know how you always have those other big events and other parts of the other parts of the city have their great festivals
Yeah.
and here we are. We're gonna have a
This is the
festival.
baby that's gonna grow real quick.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
There's
The
no
goal
doubt.
is
Real quick.
10 years.
Oh, please.
10 years. I'm already looking at 2019, 2020, and 2021.
Okay.
Ready.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. There you
Have
go.
to have vision.
Oh yeah. When she starts, there's a whole bunch coming afterwards.
Yes.
There's no right here just this
No.
1 minute.
Consistency is key in this city. You got to prove. And
Yeah, you
so
do.
if enough, people will start to believe it's possible.
Absolutely.
And that's all I can do.
Absolutely.
And you will, and you have, and you're gonna.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be out there saying, I'm looking.
If I call you out on stage,
Don't you do that?
ah,
She wants to get me in trouble. Did you notice that?
That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. We'll figure that one
yeah,
out.
we'll figure that
Yeah,
one out.
we'll figure that one out. But I am so glad,
Thank you so much.
and I am so happy,
Thank you. You're one of the early adapters.
and I am so proud of you. And I'm not even her mama, but I am so proud of her. You know, I'm gonna get to meet Mama though. I'm gonna be a very happy person to meet
There's a
Mama.
community of mamas, though.
There,
There
oh,
is a
and there's a whole.
community of mamas.
She's right. There's a community of mamas,
We belong to
So-
each other.
Absolutely.
we?
Absolutely.
and we do.
Yes.
And as children growing up, as young women growing up, and back in the day when I was younger, we all belong to each other, and that's a piece that has to come back.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I think this might be
I
a
see.
piece
There you
of
go.
that,
You know what
yeah.
I'm getting ready to say.
I know.
That's
I know.
why I believe that's what's gonna bring it back.
We just want folks to be themselves, you know,
Yeah.
allow to be human
Human.
before all these other titles.
Thank you.
And I think if that happens, I think the tension will
Will
start to ease.
ease.
Yeah, I think that will happen. I think we've been looking for something
To ease the tension.
for years, decades.
You're right. Decades, not
and we've-
just years. Decades.
And we've been going to other people's cities to get
to
that,
get
right?
that. And
Yeah.
Thank you.
And spending more money
Money.
than we need to.
Okay.
So if we can do that here and do it right and do it the way that's Boston, but also Boston in the future,
Yeah.
I think we'll be successful.
I think we will too.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward. I am looking forward.
I think it's amazing that you're doing it. You know, because the thing is, too, Boston artists, and especially musicians, you know, the best musicians come out of this city.
Don't they?
And the rest of the world knows that, too.
Except us.
Except for
Yeah, I
us.
don't know how that happened.
The rest
You know what I learned today? I think it's partly is because we set we set what we think is the standard for the best compared to a New York
Yes.
versus just what is the best in
Best
Boston, but
Boston.
also who's setting that criteria. 9 10 out of 10 is not us.
Thank you.
So that,
no, it's not.
So we know whoever wins whatever, that's the standard, and that's what we measure by instead of
Measuring
creating
by
our own
our
criteria. Yeah. So I think that will start to change. You know, I've intentionally tried to curate a lineup that were very people who live in the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Right? Because that matters.
Yes, it does.
And I think it will change the perception of pride. Like, oh, they're from Roxbury. I used to go to school with this person. And then all these stories start unfolding. So I plan to be that much intentional in the future with a lot of artists.
Yeah. I think this is going to be an amazing event.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay. I keep telling my children, you know, don't want to come to Roxbury. And I've been telling my children, yeah, bring your butts to Roxbury. Because on the 23rd,
I don't know why they don't want to come to Roxbury. Everybody else want to see them to buy up and live in
they
Roxbury.
want to come up and live in Roxbury. And we don't know. But nobody else, those that live here, don't want to come to Roxbury.
It's just attitude.
It is.
It's
It
just
is.
attitude.
And I think, you know, if Boston Arts Music Soul Festival can bring that out among us that are already here, then I think that's a way of bringing those that have gone to come back
Yeah.
to our community, because it's still our community and it's still their community. And they need to stand. There's a lot of life, there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of art from the folks that live in this community. And we need to back up what Catherine is doing right now.
Absolutely.
We need to back that up. We need to back up what people like Araba is doing,
Absolutely.
because that's important.
You know,
Because that's who.
one of
That's who we
the
are.
best things for me was actually being able to perform for colored girls in Roxbury. You know?
Oh, see, that was like so wonderful.
In Roxbury, it's that you go to other theaters and other places. I know I've gone to theaters and in other places in other states, but to be home and to be amongst people. There were people on my Facebook and my messages that I went to high school with, that I went to middle school with, and they're like, "We always knew you was gonna be." It's I'm coming and I'm bringing all your girlfriends from middle school and from high school. It's an honor to be able to do your thing in your own community.
There you go.
Amongst your own people.
And that's what it is. Like that's what makes Boston both beautiful and difficult, is that pride is so strong.
Isn't it?
And let's turn that pride into confidence.
Yes.
And our artists who dictate our history and document our history.
Absolutely.
And help them be sustainable, because they do it, I can't, right? Like I can draw a stick figure and I can whistle. I can't sing a tune and I cannot get on a mic, right? So.
But you could bring it together.
But
See, that's what you can do.
The pride to know that there is a strong woman of color doing what she does, that she loves, and can bring, friends from high school or her work or her church all come out and support. That's pride. That's confidence.
You're right.
And we just need more of that on a consistent basis.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, Boston Art Soul Music Festival.
You just
coming.
you are
I know.
Boston Art and Music Soul Festival.
And Music Soul Festival. See, I always leave the and out.
Everyone's calling it Black Arts Music. I'm like, Boston.
Oh, well. Who did that?
That
wasn't
could be that, but it's Boston Art and Music Soul Festival.
I didn't do that part. Somebody else did it, wasn't me.
Totally fine. Totally fine.
That's right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, ladies, thank you.
Absolutely.
Catherine,
Thank you.
see you on the 30th.
Yes.
Madame, see you on the 15th?
The 15th of July.
Of July.
July,
There you go. See, I see her on the 15th of July. And I love this.
Thank you.
This is a fantastic show ever.
Yay.
And I am so happy
Kudos to you,
that I
sister.
have two prominent, beautiful